Rights to land and property are protected under the Kenyan Constitution of 2010 and in various national statutes. In practice, women from the Kuria community remain disadvantaged and discriminated. The main source of restriction is the customary laws and practices which continue to prohibit women from owning or inheriting land and other forms of property. Customary practices in Kenya generally grant women secondary rights to land, namely through their relationship to a male relative. Women are rarely able to inherit land in their own right. Kenya has undergone legal reforms that are geared toward granting Kenyan women equal inheritance rights. And then TV's Bernard Ojwang reports that many women in Kenya, especially in Kuria, are denied their legal right to inheritance through traditional justice systems.
The blend of the flute is accompanied by the melodious voice of this singer introduces you to the Kuria culture. It is a Bantu tribe found on the border of Kenya and Tanzania near Lake Victoria. Traditionally, the Kuria are subsistence farmers and also livestock keepers, but with the advent of modernity, they have greatly metamorphosed. They are found in all professions and sectors, including finance, military, administration, medicine, among others. However, despite all the education and empowerment, this community is still steeped in tradition and culture, especially on matters affecting women.
We have no rights in terms of property ownership, and it is a very painful thing. And nobody wants to talk about it. It is a sensitive matter within our community, and it is hurting a lot of people in the process, because you do not know what happens to you after your father dies if you are only girls in the family.
To the elders here, a Kenyan Constitution is just but a document. What governs them is culture, something that has rendered women and daughters voiceless and even denied them the right to inherit paternal land as stipulated in 2010 Constitution.
Hiyo haikubariki. Maana wakati walitunga hiyo sheria, kuna baadhi ya makabila wenyewe ni haki. Utaenda huko, utafika huko, tena utarudi utapewa. Lakini hapa kwetu, wewe ukishatoa, maana sisi wanalipia mali ya kutosha. Ilikuwa ni ng'ombe 30, ng'ombe 40, siku hizi ng'ombe zimeisha. Lakini tena kama huyo ni msichana wa value, anaweza olewa na ng'ombe kama 5.
The ukoo we are talking about amongst the Kuria people is law enforcement, and it's normally composed of very elderly people, and you see these are people who still drink from the same stream or river of their grandfathers, and therefore they still see it as a taboo for them or for a daughter to inherit anything. They see it as a taboo for a girl to be given land. I mean, they're trying to imagine how.
Inauma sana kwa sababu pia yeye ana haki sawa na watoto wengine, na ni mtoto ambaye anastahili pia kupewa elimu vile unavyopea mtoto wako wa kiume elimu mpaka level zingine, na ukimsupport pia na wao wanastahili kusapotiwa. Ukiangalia kwenye karne hii kwenye culture yetu ya Afrika, mtoto wa kiume anaweza kasapotiwa hata kuweza kuoa. Anasaidiwa na wazazi kumtafutia mahali, na hadi anaoa, na hadi anamilikishwa mke, anasaidiwa wengine hadi kujenga. Lakini pia ukiangalia mtoto wa kike unapata kwamba kishapeanwa tu akaoleka, story imeisha.
Mary Boke, not her real name, is a victim of these old age traditions. Her husband and her second-born son forcefully evicted her from the land she bought, arguing that a woman has no right to own land. She is apprehensive that her efforts to get justice may fail, since even the authorities here have given up and allowed culture to take its course.
Watoto wanaambiwa, wanafuata pile, wanaambiwa na huyu mzee. Nitasaidiwa na nani? Na huyu mzee ndio aliyenitoa kwa baba yangu. Mimi naomba sana serikali yetu ya Kenya, wamama wa kutoka sehemu za Kuria, wamama wengi wameteseka sana, wameumia sana. Wengi ni wenye wako viwete, wengine hawana sehemu zingine za mwili, kukatwa na mapanga, kupigwa na kuumwa na meno kama vile umbwe na uma. kitu inakata nyama. Kama hiyo yangu, mwili wangu, mkiniona mtasema kweli wamama wa Kuria wako na shida. Simtusaidie tafadhali.
The only mistake that she has done is having been born a woman. So we really want our women to be felt on the ground as first-class people. Let them not be taken as if what is being done to them is a favor. It's a human right.
As other women were being consumed by the culture, rush back home for their duties every evening, Boke has no place to call home, but relies on well-wishers for support.
Inaona wamama tunaumia sana. Sababu mumama hata kama aliolewa ama hakuolewa, wanafanya kwamba mama ana haki ya kupata kipande ya ploti ya kuchanga hata kanyumba kamoja. Wanataka tu mama endelee kusukumwa, hata siku itakuwa Mungu anamchukua hana mahali pa kuweko. Hapa tuko na madisi, yani watu ambao wanafanya kazi bila wangesaidia wale wananyanyaswa. Hawezi kusaidia, wanawachaka tu, wamama wanahangaika, mtu akikimbilia polisi hasaidiki. Akimbia kwa dirama kwa DC hasaidiki. Kama mimi nimehangaika miaka mingi kutoka mwaka 1991.
I remember there was even an incident where I had to take one of the women up to I passed through the chief. In fact, the chief ndiye alikuwa amenyanyasa kabisa akisema mwanamke anataka pesa ya nini. From there I took this lady to the DO. Still it did not work. The DO was afraid. He could not help this woman get rents from the husband and be able to distribute equally among the children. We were taken to the county commissioner. The county commissioner still could not help. In fact, alisukuma watu kwenda kwa county commissioner from the wa district. So one thing we are realizing, Kuria girl child is still going through a lot. That is when it comes to inheritance. But the Constitution stipulates very well.
Despite the Matrimonial Property Act giving women the capacity to register their property, and also 2010 Constitution giving daughters freedom to inherit family wealth, a majority of women and daughters here struggle to get their shares as they are not aware that they should be registered as owners and inheritors. Neither are they aware of the provision provided for them by the new law.
Kweli kwamba watu wengi ambao wanaweza kuunga mkono kutokupea mtoto wa kike mahali ama urithi ni wale wenye hawana elimu, na ukweli wanahusika tena asilimia kubwa kuweza kuelimisha wale watu ambao wana elimu kukubaliana na wao. Lakini tunaamini kwamba public participation ikifanywa kwenye jamii, kila jamii, na wakaelimisha hasa wa Kuria zaidi, wana uwezo wa kukubaliana na hili jambo, na hili jambo likaleta faida kwenye jamii kwa ujumla.
Baada ya wazazi kufa ama labda ndugu zake, ndio kwa unaisha. Ni kama haonekani tena. Wanajua tu alitoka sehemu hiyo. Once they are out of there, they want to make their own families, to ask their names to strangers. Tuna ule ukoo, si damu ndio iko, lakini sasa ikifika wakati wa mali ni vigumu.
Wewe unaweza patia mtoto wako wa kike mali?
Ninaweza nikupatia ile mali nimetafuta mwenyewe, lakini nilipata urithi kwa baba yangu siwezi.
Kwa nini?
Siwezi.
Hautamani mtoto wako wa kike?
Namtamani kama ni binadamu ndio, lakini sasa alishaolewa. Yeye ukiniambia hivi ina maana kwamba mimi nani kadhali mali kwa mke wangu? Kwa mke wangu. Mimi ina maana hata mimi kwao nyumbani kwa mke wangu nirudi nikadai nipewe shamba pale. Itawezekana kweli?
It is very unfair for the girls to be discriminated against, and it's my hope that my community will arise to the fact and to the very noble article in the Constitution which calls or obligates parents that they must share their wealth equally and fairly to their daughters. And I'm calling to their daughters, start testing the waters.
Mary is not alone. Jen Moronga is another victim of Kuria cultural law. Her father left behind wealth, which she also contributed to. Immediately after her father's death, she was disinherited.
When I was growing up, we were 6 girls, and it is us who used to know where we would get firewood. And this time we would go very far, like 10 kilometers from Isibania here to places like Kumumwamu, Nyametaburo to go look for firewood. And I remember, I don't remember the work that my brothers used to do, because we would go to the firewood bring. Shamba, it would be the girl child to go with the mother to go and do the weeding and even harvesting. But now when it comes to this girl child, now the family has grown. And there are properties, in fact, that even the girl child helped in creating. A girl child is never considered.
There are cases where our father would call us to assist in various ways, and we would. And we did that knowing that it's family business. We did that knowing that there is a future for us in all that we were doing. But right now, the clan does not want to listen to anything that we have to say.
According to Mzee Omaya Mwita, commonly known to many here as Black Bull, culturally it is men who inherit property among the Kurians. A woman's position is with her husband. Mwita says the inheritance by a woman who does not have male children is a complicated issue here. For such a woman, it meant that all her daughters will be married off, and the woman will remain alone with no one to inherit her property or advance her lineage. For only a son could carry on someone's lineage. So by extension, a mother without a son is generally deemed childless. The boy child is valued here. A daughter cannot inherit family property.
Tunaona kama ni njama ambazo huyo mtoto atakuja arithi mali kisha auze aende. Unaona?
Value your girl child.
Mtoto kwetu kwanza msichana Mkuria ni ana more value kushinda kijana. Leo nikuelezee. Na kwa nini hapati haki yake? Sasa hiyo tunamvalue kwa sababu anaweza akatupatia mali nyingi sana. And by the way, mtu ambaye anaweza akakas family kwa Kuria ni mtoto wa kike. Kama nataka kufanya kitu hapa, hata shamba ninagawa alafu nikataka goye mmoja wa wale vijana, anaweza kuja akakas.
Kwa hivyo anatumiwa kuleta mali lakini sio kuchukua mali.
Sasa mali inategemea anataka kuchukua mali gani tena. Maana sasa yeye kama amekuja hapa ametupatia ng'ombe. Tena amerudi hapa tumpatie. Si sawa ni kama ameenda bure.
We've even had experiences where a man dies and leaves behind widows. And the widows, maybe their properties there. Kuna nyumba, kuna rents, kuna nini. Immediately a man is buried, the son picks it from there. They occupy all the houses, the rents and everything. And the women are left to live in poverty. Not even with a single room that they can call, this is now my husband's rent that I'm supposed to take. And in fact, the woman would be told, kwamba, wewe sasa ni mwanamuke, where are you taking this?
Kuria female professionals have come out to say enough is enough. They are demanding what they claim belongs to them, as stipulated in the Constitution, pleading with the government agencies in the region to guard the Constitution as it is done in other communities.
We would really want to know, in other places like Kiambu, where I have been, other places like even in Luo land, these other places, the Constitution is really being followed. The women there are getting what they deserve. And if a case arises of a person who is complaining of where her rights have been infringed, they take it seriously. Unfortunately, in Kuria here, we are not seeing it. The women are just struggling on their own. You are being oppressed. Your shamba is being taken. You run, it will really take a whole, it will be seen like you don't have that enforcement from up there that will help you get what is being snatched from you.
Well, it is a constitutional law that was passed in the year 2010, and according to Kuria female professionals, unless something is done, it will be a dream that shall never come true due to oppression and stigmatization against girl child in this community. Leaders have been blamed here for betting the vice by remaining silent.
You cannot get re-elected when you actually just up and stand and speak against a certain practice that especially the elders hold in high esteem. So for the sake of re-election, even if they are aware of what is going on, they will not speak up.
According to locals, the inheritance cultural laws has now forced leaders and business persons from the region to invest in other counties just to save their daughters from the problem, leaving girls from humble families who are the majority to continue suffering.
You'll find somebody talk of how circumcision is actually good when he's facing the community. They do not want to come out and they talk of the vice, the badness of circumcision. But them themselves have not even married they have not married the circumcised one, so that they are thinking of they will be good wives.
Bernard Ojuang, NTV.
Well, that report brings